Hello and welcome. This video is going to be a what sold video and it's for the end of April, so April 22nd to April 30th, and this is for all the Not Lined platforms that I sell on. I know I'm a little bit behind on my what sold videos, but because I sell a variety of items from clothing to hard goods to books, those don't really have seasons. I mean, the clothes have seasons, but I still think this information is going to be helpful. And I'm happy to report I have my first Depop sale. I sold this vintage pair of shorts that I picked up at Goodwill for $4, like a year ago maybe. They sold for my full asking price of $20. So on Depop, this price, the $20 price, is with shipping included. So I think it cost me like $5 to ship this, and I paid $4 for it, so I still made a $10 profit, and I'm really happy about that. I'm gonna scoot over and then we're gonna do eBay because I had one Depop sale and then everything else is eBay because eBay is my main selling platform. And like I said before, I've only made one sale in Mercari. That was last what sold video, and Poshmark has been kind of dead for me. So this is an antique piece. So antique means it is over 100 years old. This is Buffalo China. I really love rescuing restaurant wear because in my area, if something is glass or pottery and it's not sold within a month, it normally gets smashed and trashed. And this made it 100 years. And the thought of a 100-year-old piece of pottery getting smashed and trashed because no one wanted to pay $1 for it at Goodwill hurts my heart. So sold this for $14 and the buyer paid $10 for shipping. Very happy about this sale. This is a new brand that I will be on the lookout for. I found like 3 of these Ash and Airy pants at Goodwill by my partner's house. I paid $5.50 a piece for each one, and they sold super fast. Like after I listed them, they all sold within a month, which I think is really good. These two sold together on offer. They offered me $25 for both plus shipping. So I sent them an invoice saying it would be $10 for shipping because I was able to fit both into a padded flat rate because, as you see, these are a smaller size pants. Ash and Airy is a brand, a menswear brand that specifically focuses on vertically challenged individuals. So new brand to me, really excited to have found them, and the fact that they all moved so quick. Again, that's why I know a lot of people say you should pick up bigger sizes, but there are brands and there are sizes that actually also have really good sell-through rate that are not like the XL, the 2XL, the 3XL. Everybody needs clothes, so that's why I will buy all sizes in both men's and women's. This is a pair of vintage 90s 505s. I have talked about how I love buying and selling vintage 505s. It is like probably one of my favorite things to find now as far as Levi's go because they all move super fast for me, and also black sells really well for me in general. This actually had a small paint spot on the bottom of it, and it still sold for $19.90, and the buyer paid for shipping, and pretty much all of my 505 stuff sell within 30 days. It's great. This is a J. Jill Log and Look shirt. This was orange and linen, and y'all know how much I love selling linen, and even though this was a long sleeve shirt, still sold for $17, and I believe I picked this up at a thrift store for $5. This is a pair of Tevas. I rarely find Tevas in my area that are not marked up, and I found these at a thrift store for $9. I found these at the Goodwill. I think I picked these up when I was thrifting with Melissa when she met me in Williamsburg and we thrifted together. Sold for $30, so I'm really happy about that, and these sold within 48 hours of me listing them. So from $9 to $30 within 48 hours, I think is a great flip. I've talked about before how when I buy and sell sets of pottery, depending on the comps, is whether or not I will sell it as replacements or I will sell it as a lot. For this set, this is a vintage 70s set. It is from Japan. It's casual cream in the Cresta pattern, and it's green, so of course I was drawn to it. Sold 2 pieces. I sold the sugar and creamer that I found for this set, which were just a nice like green, like mod looking type of creamer and sugar, for $19.87. So they paid my full asking price for that set, and then they paid $12 for shipping. So I was very happy with that sale because normally the sugar and creamers and the mugs are normally the last things to go when I do those set things, but it was actually one of the first things to sell here, so that was really nice. This is a vintage piece that I picked up from that estate sale that kicked me out, so I paid probably $1 for this. Sold for $9, and the buyer of course paid $5 for shipping. I love buying and selling these vintage knit tops because they sell normally pretty quickly for me, as did this. If you've been here on my channel for a while, you know how much I love buying and selling ties, and I can get them for $3 for less. I paid $3 for this at a thrift store, and it sold for $6. So I had actually had this for a while, and this is a short neck tie. So this is a 54 inch. Anything under 57 inches is considered a short necktie, and Ralph Marlin does kitschy ties, and they do novelty ties, kind of the same thing, same word. So I pick them up whenever I find them, when I get them for $3 or less. And this one I knew was going to take longer because it was a shorter tie, but it sold for $6, and I'm happy about that. This is a Lou & Grey piece. I have a personal affinity for Lou & Grey. I really, really love it. They do a lot of natural fibers, and as someone who has sensory issues, a lot of the fabrics, even the non-natural fibers, are still very comfy. I actually picked this up originally for myself, but it was too cropped and I didn't like the way it sat on my body, so I listed it. I paid $4 for this at a thrift store, and it sold for $6. So that's perfectly happy with that. I originally picked it up for myself. It didn't work out, so then I sold it. So the next item is a pair of Adidas Original Gazelles. These were black on blacks, and these were gifted to me from my Aunt Diane and Uncle Lauren when they were cleaning out the closets. So Aunt Diane and Uncle Lauren, thank you very much. They sold for $27, and of course the buyer paid $13.50 for shipping, and that is because these are a size 13, so they were a little bit heavier, so they needed to go in that shoebox. But really happy about that, and I'm really grateful that they donated that to me, so thank you again. This is a Nat Nass shirt. The only reason I picked this up is because it was a linen and silk blend. Nat Nass is it used to be a good brand. It has definitely fallen quite far. It has a lot of, there are some pieces which do really well and some pieces that just sit forever. So this took about 6 months to sell. It sold for $15.90 once, you know, it went from fall to spring, because it was a linen silk blend. So $15.90. I paid $4.50 for this at a thrift store. This is a new Nike piece. I picked this up at a thrift store, I believe for $4, which I was surprised that they didn't mark it up because it was new with tags, and it sold for $17.50, and I'm really happy about that. This is something that had been sitting in my death pile forever. I got this tapestry bag probably, I don't know, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I was still working a 9 to 5 when I picked up this bag, because I remember picking this up during my lunch break. I finally listed it. I paid $4 for it 2.5 years ago. We'll just, you know, cut it in the middle. It sold for $20. I knew it would sell when I picked it up. Just expected to list it sooner, but really grateful that it sold and that it's no longer my house. So this is a pair of art books that I picked up at the bins. So I had $1 into the books because it's 50 cents for each hardcover. These are folio books, and they're for Van Gogh and Matisse. They're just, you know, coffee table books that you have out on the coffee table, be like, look at my art. And it does have some photographs of the art, but it's more about their life and their processes. I decided to lot them together, and they sold for $14.87 to my full asking price, and I'm really happy about that because, you know, they were $1 and they would have ended up in the landfill because I got them at the bins. I paid $5 for this because I was originally going to keep it for myself. Then I realized that it was too small for me to do anything that I want to do with it. I think this is more for like succulents. Super cute. You can see why I wanted to keep it. It was green, very cute. Sold for $10, and the buyer had to pay $10 for shipping because it is ceramic and it does require a lot of bubble wrap in order to get it there, but happy about that. This I was actually really surprised about. This is another book lot of books that I picked up at the bin. These were all soft covers, so I paid 25 cents a piece for them, and then when I went to go look up comps, I didn't realize that this is actually more valuable than I thought. So I picked up a total of 7 books, so I have $1.75 into all of these. I looked everywhere for book 7. I could not find it. I dug every single bin up to try to find book 7. I could not find it. But even without book 7 there, sold for $25, and the buyer paid the media rate to ship them. So you don't always have to have a complete set. It does help, but you can still sell book lots without a complete set. I don't know if this is a viewer sale. If you are a viewer, please let me know, but this is someone who consistently buys a lot of vintage pieces from me. So if you are a viewer, please let me know in the comments. If you are not a viewer, then I guess I have a repeat buyer, and that's great. Bought 2 pieces from me for $32, and then they had a little bit of shipping refunded to them because with both of these pieces, it was under a pound. So I was still able to do first class shipping for them, which is why I refunded them a little bit of money. But so the red shirt came from the Big Vintage buyout, I believe. And then the other Liz Claiborne shirt, I think, came from the Benz. Regardless, I have probably less than $2 into both of these shirts. So for them to sell for $32 is amazing. And then the last one I have to share with you is the most exciting one. I found gold for the first time ever. I found a pair of their reworked 90s high-rise cinch short. I found them in the men's section, actually. I definitely make sure to check men's because I find a lot of women's stuff there. I think Goodwill in my area has just given up on trying to organize clothing by gender because I'm finding like half and half women's stuff in the men's section. Don't know why. The front pockets of this did not open. They were like stitched down the center of them. So you had like, you could fit 2 fingers on both sides. Reworked to where they had even less pockets, which I thought was crazy. But they sold for $43.90. I was so excited when I picked them up. And then like it took me a while to find the exact style because I was like, worried that these had been altered, and I was like, no, these are their reworked line. It's supposed to be like this because of the pockets. And I'm really happy that this sold. So if you include the shipping, this was over $50. Again, this is the only time I've ever found a gold. Hopefully I will find it again soon because I would love more sales like this. But that is everything that sold for the end of April, and I will hopefully see you guys again tomorrow. Until then, bye. Bye. Hero, I wanna be a hero.